One day, some children found something the size of an egg in a valley. It even had a line running down the middle. A man who passed by thought it was a strange thing. So he bought it for 5 kopecks and took it to the capital. When he brought it to the capital, he realized that it was a rare item that no one had heard of. So he asked the king to buy it. When the king saw the strange thing in the palace, he ordered a group of great scholars to find out what it was and to report back to him. The scholars turned over all their books and old documents, and searched for the egg-like thing day and night without rest, but in the end, no one could find out what it was, so they told the king, "I'm very sorry. But there is no record of this thing, so I can't tell you what it is." The egg-like thing was sitting by a window, and a hen happened to come by and pecked at it, breaking the surface and revealing the inside. It was a grain of wheat. Where on earth can you find such a big grain of wheat? Are there any others like this? Does anyone know? The king ordered, and the scholars were in a state of confusion. One scholar said, "Perhaps a very old peasant might know something." So the king sent a messenger to find a very old peasant. And the person who arrived was a very old man. He came weakly and staggeringly on 2 crutches, looked at the wheat with his poor eyesight, touched it with his hands, listened to what the king said with his poor hearing, and responded with his toothless mouth, "Ah, Your Majesty, I have never seen, heard, eaten, or bought such a big grain of wheat. I'll have to ask my father about this." Then the old man's father was called. The father was also old, but only had 1 crutch, and seemed to have better eyes and ears than his first son. "Grandpa, do you have any idea when and where this wheat was grown? Did you sow it yourself? Or did you buy it from somewhere long ago?" the king asked, to which the father replied, "No, my king, I have never sowed such large grains of wheat in my field. Nor have I ever bought them from somewhere. The wheat I bought was better quality and more productive than it is now. But it was still small." Then he added, "In our time, we didn't have money, so we never bought it. We all ate the wheat we grew, and shared it with each other. When we were in trouble, I guess I'll have to ask my father about this, because I heard a long time ago that wheat used to be big." Then the first grandfather's great-grandfather was called. However, the peasant who appeared before the king had a good complexion, a straight back, and a cheerful gait, without the use of crutches. The king asked the same question again. "Old man, do you have any idea when and where this wheat grew? Did you sow it yourself? Or did you buy it from somewhere long ago?" The old man then bit off the edge of the grain and said, "Yes, this is wheat. I haven't seen it for a long time. King, in our time, this was everywhere, and everyone ate it. I also harvested it and made it into flour. So old man, let me ask you something, where did you buy this from?" The old man laughed at the king's question and said, "In our time, no one thought it was a sin to buy wheat. We never even dreamed of money, and there was plenty of wheat. So then, old man, where on earth did you sow all this wheat? Where is your field? My field was God's land, and wherever I tilled it, that was my field. The land was free, and no one claimed it as their own. What was yours was what you worked for. The king decided to ask the question he had been dying to hear. Let me ask you one more thing. There are two things I want to ask. One is, why did you grow this much wheat in the past, but can't grow it now? And the other is, your grandson came here, using 2 crutches, and could neither see nor hear well. But when your son came along, he used 1 crutch, and could see and hear better than his son. But you are much older than them both, so why don't you use a crutch, and are strong-willed, able to hear and have teeth, can speak clearly, and are friendly? What is the reason for this? Please tell me the reason for these 2 things. The old man replied, it's simple. It's because people stopped working to make a living, and started to envy other people's things. No one lived like that in the past. Everyone lived according to God's laws, and was content with just having what they had. And no one was so greedy as to envy other people's things.